everyone. I am Michi. For the last 2 years, for my background, I've been working as a full-stack engineer. For the last 2 years, I've been developing AI applications focusing on generative AI and conversational AI. I met a few folks in Y Combinator. They are basically business-minded folks. I worked with them and build some MVPs products. They have awesome business ideas. I contributed their ideas from technical side, and some of the interest in MVPs I can share later on. And besides that, I launched a meetup focused on AI applications involving software engineers, data scientists, and business developers, and UX designers. And that's where I met Lili.
All right, so let's get started.
Oh, your
yeah, my turn. Right, okay, so today we're gonna first start with our introductions. So I'm a product designer and UX strategist. I was a career transition from business operations and development for various startups. My most recent one was a cybersecurity startup. I was the 50th employee, and when I left, we were already at like 1,000. So I am very excited to continue working in startups and supporting them now as a freelancer, working exclusively with startups. Yeah, I got a background in psychology, digital media marketing, and now more recently UX UI design.
Yeah, so AI development often involves complex algorithms and user-unfriendly interfaces. So it's key to integrate engineering with product design skills. Let me share a story of my daughter. She's actually quit middle school all because her math teacher just didn't understand her. So I handed her over to a new teacher, ChatGPT. And now she's been using complex math to develop simulation game app that amazes me. So I've been looking into how AI can really transform learning experiences. One way I thought was to connect multiple virtual assistants to form a comprehensive support networks. So those virtual assistants can play roles of like mentors, coaches, and advisors, or any kind of role models. And this comprehensive support network helps the learners for their bigger challenges and even more ultimate goals. So this network is not just limited to education. I'm going to show you a tool that's all about brainstorming and problem solving. So this tool is still experimental. It allows users to interact with different personas. The persona is a mix of character, tone, and voice. And you can choose any combination to construct a persona. So to proceed with demo, I need some suggestion, one word or two, about maybe new business idea or product idea. This is the one-on-one brainstorming case. Now I'm going to switch to a multi-person brainstorming, three-person brainstorming. And this menu lists pairs of personas: data scientist, UX designer, and marketing manager, security analyst, and enthusiast and critic. So you can change to a different pair to change the mode of brainstorming. And we can continue conversation while switching the pairs. So the brainstorming partner changes while carrying the conversation context from the previous discussion. That's a demonstration. I'm looking to build a business for dog-friendly service for airplane.
Let's analyze market trends and customer preferences to identify the most effective features for a dog-friendly airline service.
We should brainstorm creative ways to enhance the travel experience for dogs and their owners, focusing on comfort and joy.
Can you give me a specific advice?
Consider implementing a loyalty program that rewards frequent travelers with their pets, encouraging repeat business and customer engagement.
Ensure that all systems handling customer data are encrypted and regularly audited to prevent any potential security breaches.
Tell me more about potential security breaches.
Potential security breaches can occur through unauthorized access to customer data, often due to weak passwords or outdated software, highlighting the need for robust cybersecurity measures.
It's crucial to educate customers about secure practices, such as using strong passwords and recognizing phishing attempts to help protect their personal information.
So I want to walk through this demo across 6 steps. Those 6 steps, starting with voice activity detection, it acts like a microphone that turns on when it hears sounds. It simply detects sounds instead of capturing their meaning. Once speech is detected, the next step is converting the spoken language into text through audio transcription. Then the transcribed audio is handled by different AI characters, tweaking the prompt to fit each character. Then the transcribed text is handled by different AI characters. Oh, yeah. The prompt is tweaked to fit each character. The next step, text response generation, this is where the magic happens. It has 4 components. LLM generates a human-like text responses based on input data using powerful AI model. The second step is context management, which keeps track of the conversation history to make sure everything stays relevant and flows smoothly. The persona orchestration is the third step, which coordinates unique attributes of multiple AI characters all at once. Then response optimization tailors responses to match individual preferences and situational requirements. In the last step, 2 steps, we turn the generated text back into speech, making sure everything sounds just right for each AI character. Then we play each voice one after the other. And that's what's happening under the hood of this demo. And let's switch to the UX side.
So the question is, where does UX come in? So first and foremost, a good product has a practical value. So that's expressed up front, and the user intent is a part of the app itself. And as a part of that also, we need to establish the product as something that maintains relevance over time. So is it something that people will continue to use? And then ethics. Ethics is a really important thing that needs to be factored in, especially in new technology where, we're not even really sure what issues may arise over time. So back to clear purpose and user intent. what do the users need this app for? What do they want? So in this app, if we wanted to niche it, make it a little bit more specific, an option would be to cater this towards entrepreneurs or startups. So we'd want to get to know the average entrepreneur, first-time entrepreneur, and decide, hey, what roles are the most effective? Because scope creep is definitely it's definitely a problem, you know, when you have a lot of different ideas. I think with Michi's design, while all the applications are really incredible and, you know, funny and interesting, the more narrow it is, the more able people are to accomplish their goals without experiencing cognitive load or general overwhelm. So next feature is user-centric dialogue. And this is not just keeping the jargon understandable by the user, it's also making it easy to communicate with the AI bot. One of the major problems right now in user-friendliness with AI applications is that it's very computer-centric. You have to know exactly what to put into the prompt in order to get the desired response. So this has created roles like prompt engineers or people selling prompts online. It's because it's so unintuitive. It's not human-centered at all. So a part of creating products like these, when roles and characters are embedded in, it also enables people to have normal, more human conversations. So Michi touched on this a little bit with his app, but contextual awareness is also extremely important. So would it be useful if you have a fictional team and you're starting an airline for dogs, that if every time you started the conversation, they just forgot all of the context? No, because it's frustrating. It doesn't mimic a human relationship, does it? So additionally, you know, if there's an awkward silence in real life, if you're not sure what you want to ask or you're not sure, you know, where to go next, a good conversation partner will come up with a suggestion. So that's the other part of the UX process that's guiding the conversation. It's figuring out, okay, so if you don't know what to do next, you get some help. So that could look like a prompt. It could look like a suggestion. And then next, there's error handling. In a human-to-human conversation, sometimes people don't understand each other, so they ask for clarification. Sometimes someone has false information, so there should always be an easy way in an AI application to have a fallback, to avoid feedback loops, to have an easy exit plan just in case, you know, a conversation is not going in the direction that you need it to. So an exit for the user to get out of the conversation or to update or edit that conversation. And then finally, accessibility. So a big part of applications is that they need to be usable by as many people, if not everybody, as possible. So with Michi's app, a lot of it is voice activated, right? But some people might have hearing impairments. Some people, you know, might be on a mobile app or a desktop or not have voice activation. So it's important to meet the users where they're at and create an application that can be usable by as many people as possible. Okay, next. So again, to hammer it home, most importantly, a design should be human-centered. So we're thinking about how can we make it as intuitive and as familiar as possible to human beings. Next. So the bridge between AI capabilities and user expectations. A big pain point for users is the frustration of having high expectations for an application without really understanding what the limitations are behind the scenes. This technology is continually growing, so we need to kind of keep up in a way. We need to make sure that our apps are iterative and that we're taking data and we're continuing to learn not just from our users, but also updating the technology based on what we're learning and what we're discovering, because this is kind of the new frontier. There's a lot that we don't know and a lot that we're continuing to improve on. So collaboration is essential.
So AI is helping us build even more powerful tools. And this development cycle is getting faster and faster in a very recursive way. So, but for the improvement of user experiences, we still need human collaboration. And we drafted 6 steps of this collaboration, engineer-designer collaboration. And we are at currently the step number 1, collaborative presentation, this exact presentation. We just started, and we have yet to explore the specific challenges and individual steps, and how we can overcome them is something we are going to work on. And that's where we are standing right now. With that, let's switch to Q&A. And if I can, I have a quick question for Lili, and throughout this collaboration, what's the biggest challenges you've had so far?
Okay, so I guess the biggest challenge has been designing for something that doesn't exist yet. So having conversation with multiple bots in a setting that feels like you're having a meeting with a team or a meeting with a brainstorming group, like, yeah, I mean, you can think about Zoom, you can think about other collaborative tools, but this is an AI app, so there are so many user problems and challenges that have yet to be investigated and have yet to be solved. So there's a lot of passion in that innovation and excitement to brainstorm and to learn, but the truth is you don't really know what works until you actually do your user research. So find out what people want and what works well. So yeah, I guess that's the next step.
You mentioned that you developed a product for your middle school student who's using it to learn math. Could you say a little bit about what the interface looks like for that?
I worked, The demo I just showed you in this presentation is focusing on functionalities. We have yet to work on the user experience and product design, which is not yet addressed. But for the application of a learning tool, it has potential because, when studying yourself, the resource, we can access a bunch of resources, YouTube and Khan Academy, but we have no easy access to class discussion, brainstorming. We need still talk to somebody, classmates. In that case, this helps. We can set up virtual classmates. Some can good at something, others different things. Mixing with mentors, coaches, advisors can give learners more insightful and rounded insight perspectives. Yes?
For each of the personas in the collaboration, like business analyst, how specific are you defining those personas? I mean, are you giving lots of background defining that role, or are you just saying you are a business analyst, please respond as such?
Yeah, that's a great question. We are developing a persona editor that allows users or educational administrator to design the persona, including the type of voice and background education and the level of the proficiency level of particular subject. And that's up to application designer or educational administrator. We are looking to develop a more generic library or framework, not application itself. But we have some guidelines and frameworks under development.
So theoretically, someone could build their own team with any number of different roles. So you could say, I don't want a business analyst on my team, and they could set up a team as they see fit.
Yes, so that's a good point. Interesting thing. During the brainstorming, certain set of brainstorming team changes dynamically based on what specific topic you reached. Then the network of advisors dynamically changes. Proficiency dynamically changes. The mix ratio of expertise or anything can change. So we are providing a much larger list of parameters to allow more flexible configuration.
And the design challenge on that one is to create a little bit more of a specialized experience where there aren't an infinite number of permutations. You decide on the tools that are the most useful. So that could look like just a long list of roles and job responsibilities, and then an axis that you can choose from different filters to decide, oh, okay, so you want someone who's really confident or someone who's not as confident. You want someone who's really supportive and really cheerful. You want someone who's going to be a harsh critic. Or, or even someone who's hyper creative or someone who's hyper traditional, you know? So it's about determining what the demographic, the user base actually needs, and then specifying the parameters of the design based on that.
I'm just curious about the LLM, if you use a specific technology, and if you had to do some custom training or anything like that.
Yeah, so we've been heavily using fine-tuning, trying out different LLMs like OpenAI's and Claude and Gemini, different. So far, I've been sticking with OpenAI because they're allowing us more flexibility. But then we are working on improving the quality of test data to cover a diverse scenario. So to collect data, we need more bigger audience base. So we are exploring how to access that larger audience base to collect more meaningful data to train the model in a more efficient and effective way. So yeah, easiest way is to heavily use prompt engineering, the combination of prompt engineering and fine-tuning and RAG. We thought about that, but RAG needs the bigger investment. We did some basic implementation of RAG, but the technology in that area is advancing so fast. So we have very limited resource, so we are not heavily investing time on RAG part itself, but just focusing on prompt engineering and fine-tuning. So,
thank you.